Hi everybody, now we're going to take a look at my Orient Bambino. This is the series 2, I believe, of the Bambino from Orient. This is a very attractively priced dress watch that is quite well made, quite elegant, and just, I think, a generally all-around good value for money dress watch. Now, for those who don't know about Orient, Orient is now a subsidiary of Seiko. They were wholly owned and operated by themselves up until recently, but now Seiko's taken them over. They still do everything more or less as they did before, but they are owned by Seiko. So they make all their own parts, do all their own movements, everything like that. Now, this Bambino I got about 6 months ago after looking on various watch sites and watching watch reviews on YouTube and all these kind of things, trying to figure out what a good quality Japanese automatic watch would be. And just time and time again, Bambino was coming up just as, huge bang for the buck and just a great watch to have. And at less than $200 US, I thought, why not? Let's have it. Let's have a shot at it. So this is how it comes. At least this version comes on this leather strap, which I have managed to scratch. It's got like a crocodile, sort of a crocodile print to it. It's not so bad. I mean, it's obviously not an expensive band, but who cares, right? Nice little buckle there. Case back. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know that these are in fact manufactured in Japan. I suspect that they're not, but definitely Japanese design, Japanese movements, perhaps assembled elsewhere. I had read that Orient do all of their assembly in Japan and everything is done in Japan, but I don't know how old that information is. Regardless, I mean, at this price point, I don't think you can quibble too much about such things. So what do I like about the watch? Well, to start with, I think the size is excellent. It's a 40mm case, 40mm diameter, and that really to me is a real sort of sweet point for a watch like this. Now if I put it on, I'll just show you how it looks. I think it sits on my wrist quite nicely. It does wear well with a long sleeve shirt, so even with a button down cuff, this watch will slide under the cuff no problems. It does have domed crystal, but otherwise it's quite slim. Take a closer look at that crystal there. It's very similar to the domed crystal on the SARB065 Cocktail Time Seiko. If you check out my other videos, I've done a review on that. It's another watch I've owned for quite a while. So yeah, I like the size. I like the weight of the watch. It's not a heavy watch. You know, it's quite light to wear. It's easy on the wrist. You know, it really is quite comfortable. What else do I like? I like the simplicity of the design. It's an elegant, clean design. It's quite stylish, you know, with the gold, polished gold, I'll have to say plated indices, the polished hands, the polished case, with a kind of a pearled white dial with black writing and an applied Orient crest there. It is, you know, very simple, almost, you know, Bauhaus inspired simplicity, but it's not stark in any way. You know, it has a few little flashes of niceness, and one of those things definitely is the dial. It's got a tiny little bit of pearlescent sparkle to it, and it really matches those gold colored hands very well. So I really like the styling. Simple, elegant, clean styling, no fuss. I think it's really good. Now, I guess another massive thing that I like about it is the price. The price for me is important. You know, I love getting value for money out of what I buy. I hate wasting money. You know, I think for me to enjoy these kind of things, I have to buy them and see value out of them. And then if that's the case, then I tend to enjoy them. So the price, it differs a lot. I've seen the price up to around $300, and as low as about $130. Now, there's quite a number of versions now of this watch, and you know, little bits of differences here and there. So I'm not saying that the same watch is $130 and high-end $300. They may be different versions, things like that. But the price used to be mid-hundreds, but because they're so popular, I think Orient's, or the dealers more to the point, have taken advantage of that and kept the prices quite high. Orient's a brand that generally discounts. You know, you'll find discounts on their watches periodically. So I'd be reluctant to buy one at full whack. I mean, an Orient in general. I don't know if there was any discount on this one that I bought. I think it was about $170, something like that, US. And you know, it represents good value to me. So I'm happy with the price, even if it might have been a little bit over the odds. Maybe it was a good buy, I'm not sure, but it was, you know, I'm satisfied. The things that I don't like about it, there's really not too many. You know, you can't expect too much at this price point, but the crown it is small and a little delicate feeling. When you wind the watch, when you wind the crown, it feels a bit gritty. I guess I don't really like the band either, if I'm honest. It wears nicely, but it does look fairly cheap. But that, you know, bands are one of those things that are going to polarize people. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. I'm a bit indifferent, largely, to it. You know, it does look cheap, but the color does match that, you know, the gold color of the case and gold highlights of the watch quite nicely. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Now, here's the thing. Would I buy it again? I'm not sure that I would. I bought it because, I was doing my internet nerd research like I do for nearly everything I buy, and so many people were telling, so many people saying, it's a must-have watch. It's a great starter watch, fantastic automatic watch for a beginner, beginner collector, or someone fairly new to collecting. I was new to collecting, not exactly new to watches, but I took that advice on and bought it. Now, do I get a lot of use out of it? No, I just don't. I prefer larger watches, not larger diameters, but just chunkier watches, tool watches, prefer diving watches and sports watches. And this is, this is a little bit more refined, which is nice. I'll wear it maybe once a week. And if I'm wearing a nice suit, then, I won't hesitate to grab this. And it does look good with a suit. I've got to give it to Orient. This will stand up, next to something like a Longines or a Tag or one of those kind of brands, that Tissot, as far as appearance on the wrist goes, it's every bit as good as those watches, at a glance. So, $1,000 Longines and a $200 Orient, at first glance, you won't see a lot of difference. So that's a big win for the Orient. And that's not disrespecting the Longines or the Tissots or anything like that. They're nice enough for what they are. And, if you really did go and have a good look, you'd probably find, why they're more expensive. But at first glance, and as far as, people will see, this watch looks great. So who's it good for? If you're a guy like me and you like your sports watches and chunkier watches, but you like to have a watch for every occasion, then yeah, it's good. It's great for that once a week, with a suit or something a little bit more dressed up. That'll work really well. It'll also work for guys who wear suits every day and perhaps prefer a more refined watch or a dress watch. If you're a dress watch guy, yeah, 100%. These are awesome. Particularly if you're a guy who really likes a good value watch that doesn't look cheap in any way, apart from the band. These are great. If that's you, buy this watch all day. They are really good. It's a quality, automatic, in-house movement, Japanese watch for a low price that looks awesome, wears well. The only real thing for me is that I don't really get enough use out of it because it's not really my kind of watch. Even though I really appreciate it and I think that it's great. Probably will be some point where I sell this one. Anyway, let me know. I'm curious as to who owns these, and I'd like to hear from people who own them, and tell me what you think. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you disagree? I'm sure there's people who are disagreeing. Let me know. I'd really like to know what people think of it. I've generally sung its praises, and I think it deserves it. But there's a lot of different opinions out there and a lot of different people around. I'd really like to know what you all think. Anyway, until next time, leave any suggestions or comments in the comment section. And this is Western Pacific signing out.